You know how a streaming service just knows what movie you'll want to watch next? Or how a giant online store can sort millions of customers into groups without ever talking to them? Well, it's not magic. It's this really cool field called unsupervised learning. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see how it teaches machines to find these hidden patterns all by themselves.
All right, so let's dive into this with a problem that pretty much any business can relate to. Imagine you're running a really successful online shop. You've got thousands, maybe even millions of customers.
So how in the world do you start to make sense of all those people? I mean, you can't create a special marketing plan for every single person, right? That's just impossible. It's a huge challenge that basically every modern company is facing.
Right now, if you were to look at all your customer data, it would probably just look like this: a giant, messy cloud. Every single dot is a person, defined by things like their age, their income, how much they spend. But just staring at it, it's a total jumble. There are no obvious groups or segments. How do you find any kind of signal in all that noise?
So how do we find that hidden structure? How do we clean up that mess? Well, the answer lies in a pretty special kind of artificial intelligence. It's all about learning without being told what to look for.
And this is what we call unsupervised learning. Unlike other types of machine learning where you have to tell the computer, hey, this is a picture of a cat, this is a dog, here you don't do that. You just give it all the data and pretty much say, go find something interesting. The algorithm's job is to just explore and discover the natural groupings that are already there, all on its own.
And this quote just says it all, right? It's like a pattern-finding mission in completely uncharted territory. The machine basically becomes a detective, searching for clues and connections that we, as humans, might completely miss. Okay, so to do this kind of detective work, we're gonna need a tool. We need our own little pattern-finding machine that can sift through all that data for us. And for that, we're going to use a really popular and powerful algorithm.
It's called kmeans. Now, don't let the name scare you off. The way it works is actually super intuitive. We can break it down into 3 really simple steps.
Okay, step 1. We just tell the machine how many groups or clusters we want it to find. For this, let's just ask for 3. That's it. Step 2. We hand over our messy customer data. All that info on age, income, and shopping scores. And then, step 3, we just let it go to work. The k-means algorithm now dives in, looks at all those data points, and figures out the absolute best way to sort them into the 3 groups we asked for.
All right, the machine has been chugging away. It's analyzed all the data, it's measured the distances between every single customer, and it's made its decisions. So now, it's time to see what it actually found.
So what's the verdict? Did our little pattern-finding machine actually discover anything meaningful in that big, messy cloud? Did it manage to bring any order to all that chaos? Let's find out.
Okay, remember this? This is where we started. Our original, unstructured sea of customers. Just one big blue blob of data. And now, check this out. The algorithm did its thing. That chaotic cloud is totally gone. And in its place, we see 3 clear, distinct, color-coded groups. The red, the green, and the blue. Our machine found the hidden structure. These are our customer segments.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because finding the patterns is actually just the first step. The real power comes when you turn these kind of abstract groups into a real actionable strategy.
We can actually give each of these clusters a personality now. So that blue group, for instance, it turns out there are customers with high incomes who also spend a ton. These are your VIPs. So you could send them exclusive previews of new premium products. The green group, they have lower incomes, but they still love to shop. They're price sensitive. So let's target them with some special discount offers. And what about that red group? High income, but they don't spend much. They've got the money, but they're not using it. A simple "We miss you" campaign might be all it takes to bring them back.
And that right there is the power of customer segmentation. We just used an algorithm to turn a messy pile of data into clear, understandable groups. And that lets us create marketing that's way smarter for the business and, honestly, more relevant for the customer too. No more generic ads for everybody. Which really leaves us with a fascinating thought, doesn't it? If a pretty simple algorithm can pull out these kinds of insights from just shopping data, imagine what other hidden patterns are out there. In medicine, in finance, in astronomy, just waiting for a curious mind and the right machine to come along and find them. Makes you wonder, what are we going to discover next?